This is a mid-sagittal section through the pituitary gland as it appeared in the previous gross anatomy image without all the surrounding structures. Anterior is over here and posterior is over here. The pituitary gland has two fundamental divisions. The anterior adenohypophysis is derived from oral ectoderm, and the posterior neurohypophysis is an extension of the brain. Each division has three parts: the pars distalis, pars intermedia, and pars tuberalis in the adenohypophysis, and the median eminence, infundibulum, and pars nervosa in the neurohypophysis. Unfortunately, there are some synonyms to confuse you. The pars distalis is also called the anterior lobe of the pituitary, and the pars nervosa is named the posterior lobe of the pituitary. Also, the infundibulum and pars tuberalis together make up the pituitary stalk as a gross anatomical structure. An important landmark is a series of cysts filled with colloid. These are the remnants of the embryonic cleft. In the human child, the cleft remains as a definite structural entity, but is reduced to a series of cysts filled with colloidal material that you see here. The pars intermedia appears as a very narrow band posterior to it. In the human adult, the cleft and the glandular tissue of childhood, pars intermedia, degenerates and just becomes vestigial. The epithelial cells of the adenohypophysis can be grouped into three classes on the basis of staining characteristics: chromophils, which include acidophils and basophils, and chromophobes. And even at this low magnification image, you can appreciate this distinction. These staining characteristics derive from the presence of stainable secretory granules in the cytoplasm of the endocrine cells. Look carefully and you can see acidophils, and they have a red-orange coloured cytoplasm. On the other hand, the basophils have a blue or a purpley cytoplasm. Acidophils and basophils are distributed non-uniformly, as you can see, observing the variations in the colour at this magnification. In some regions, acidophils predominate, such as in this region here, and in others, the basophils will dominate, such as over here. Each of these three classes of cells is heterogeneous with respect to their hormone secretions. Basophils include the gonadotrophs, thyrotrophs, corticotrophs, and residual melanotrophs. But these individual cell types are too difficult to distinguish by the conventional stains we use here. The acidophils include mammatrophs and somatotrophs. Chromophobes lack granules and stain poorly, hence their name. Their functions are somewhat obscure. They may or probably include stem cells, or they may be stages of acidophils and basophils that have released their granules and just not had time to restock the pile of them. A blue-stained collagenous connective tissue surrounds the pituitary gland, as you can see here.